What if the mayo you've been buying for years isn't actually feeding you? It's just coating your food? Here's the truth. A lot of store-bought mayo is built around cheap oils, stabilizers, and additives that your body doesn't recognize as food. And the famous brands? They're often the worst offenders. Today, we're ranking 8 of them. The ones you should never touch again, and the ones that are made the way mayo was always supposed to be made. Stick around, because one of the never buy ones is probably in your fridge right now. Number 1, Sweet Baby Ray's Original BBQ Sauce. Sweet Baby Ray's is the best-selling BBQ sauce in America. It's at every cookout, every tailgate, every grocery store end cap. And that kind of reach feels like a stamp of approval. Like if that many people are buying it, it must be fine. But here's the truth. The first ingredient isn't tomatoes. It isn't vinegar. It's high-fructose corn syrup. And the second ingredient, more corn syrup. You're basically squeezing a sugar delivery system onto your food and calling it sauce. High-fructose corn syrup hits your body differently than regular sugar. Your liver processes it fast, and it can spike blood sugar in a way that's especially hard on older adults managing insulin levels or blood pressure. It adds up quicker than you think. And here's the kicker. Natural flavors sounds harmless, but that label can hide dozens of synthetic compounds your body doesn't recognize as food. Drop a comment. Is Sweet Baby Ray's in your pantry right now? Number 2. KC Masterpiece Original BBQ Sauce. KC Masterpiece built its name on smoky, bold flavor that felt like it came straight from a Kansas City pit. For a lot of people, this one's personal. It's the sauce their dad used, their grandma kept on the shelf. But the brand changed hands, and when that happens, the recipe usually changes too. Corn syrup is still the lead ingredient, but now there's also something called Class 4 caramel color, and that's not the kind of caramel you make at home. This version is made with ammonia, and health researchers have flagged it for containing a compound linked to cancer risk in animal studies. California actually requires a warning label on products with high levels of it. And here's the kicker. KC Masterpiece also uses sodium benzoate as a preservative. When that mixes with the natural vitamin C in tomato-based sauce, it can form benzene, a known carcinogen, right inside the bottle. Legacy doesn't mean safe, it just means old. Number 3, Kraft Original BBQ Sauce. Kraft has been on American tables for over 100 years. That kind of history makes you trust it. And that trust is exactly what they're counting on. Here's what's actually in the bottle. High-fructose corn syrup, yes, both, modified food starch, and a preservative called potassium sorbate. 4 ingredients that do nothing for flavor. They're there to cut costs and keep the sauce sitting on a shelf for months. That modified food starch is worth calling out. It thickens the sauce cheaply and stops it from separating, but it adds 0 nutrition. And for older adults with sensitive guts, it can trigger real digestive trouble. And what's missing tells you just as much. No vinegar tang, no depth from real tomatoes. The flavor is flat because it's built on sweetness and smoke flavoring, not actual cooking. Next up is the budget pick, and somehow the ingredient list is even worse. Number 4, Hunt's Classic BBQ Sauce. Hunt's is the budget pick. It's what you grab when you're feeding a crowd and don't want to spend much. Makes sense on paper, but cheap has a cost. Corn syrup and high-fructose corn syrup are the first 2 ingredients, same as the others on this list. But Hunt's also doubles down with both artificial flavors and natural flavors. That's rare, and it's a red flag. It means the real tomato and spice content is so low, they need 2 layers of lab-made flavoring just to make it taste like BBQ sauce. Artificial flavors are synthetic compounds built to mimic real food. When you have food sensitivities, they can trigger headaches, gut pain, and allergic reactions. And here's the kicker. Hunt's contains phosphoric acid. That's a soda ingredient. They're using it as a cheap stand-in for real vinegar. Real vinegar actually helps your gut. Phosphoric acid just adds tartness and nothing else. Now here's where this list turns. Number 1, Stubb's Original BBQ Sauce. Stubb's started as a real BBQ joint in Lubbock, Texas. The founder made his sauce from scratch and sold it out of his restaurant for years before it ever hit a store shelf. That origin matters because it shaped what went into the bottle. Flip it over and read the label. No high-fructose corn syrup, no modified starch, no sodium benzoate. What you get instead is tomato puree, distilled vinegar, sugar, and a real spice blend. A 10-year-old could read that list and know every word on it. The vinegar base gives Stubb's a sharp, tangy backbone. It's not as sweet as the corn syrup sauces, and that's the point. Real BBQ sauce cuts through fat and balances smoke. It's not supposed to taste like dessert, and the tomato puree gives it a natural body that modified starch just can't fake. You can taste the difference. It's real, and it shows. Number 2, Kinder's Original BBQ Sauce. Kinder started as a spice company, and that background hits you the second you open the bottle. Real garlic, real paprika, real black pepper. It smells like a spice rack, not a sugar factory. Most BBQ sauces lead with sweetness because sweetness is the fastest way to make something taste good. Kinder's flips that. The spice blend carries the front of the flavor, and the sweetness, from cane sugar, not corn syrup, comes in underneath to round it out. That's how real cooking works. The ingredient list is clean. Tomato paste, apple cider vinegar, cane sugar, garlic, onion, real spices. That apple cider vinegar does double duty. It helps with digestion and acts as a natural preservative. No sodium benzoate needed. And here's the kicker. No caramel color, no artificial smoke flavoring. The color comes from real tomato paste and paprika. The smokiness comes from actually smoked ingredients. Next up is a sauce that goes even further, cutting out refined sugar completely. Number 3. Primal Kitchen Classic BBQ Sauce. Primal Kitchen built its whole brand around one idea: remove the junk, keep the flavor, and their BBQ sauce does something no other sauce on this list does. It uses avocado oil as a base. Not a cheap filler oil, not a byproduct. A real whole food fat with a clean flavor and a solid nutritional case behind it. The sweetener is organic coconut sugar. Not corn syrup, not cane sugar. Coconut sugar hits your blood sugar slower than regular sugar. For older adults watching their levels, that's a real difference you feel in your body, not just something that sounds good on a label. And it's Whole30 approved, which means third parties have already checked it against a strict no additive standard. That's not marketing, that's a verified bar. It's less sweet and less smoky than the big commercial brands. And honestly, that's the point. It's built to nourish you, not just coat your food. Number 4. True Made Foods Vegetable Sweet. BBQ sauce. True Made Foods does something no other sauce on this list does. It swaps out added sugar, almost entirely, and replaces it with pureed vegetables. Butternut squash, carrots, spinach. Real food doing the work that corn syrup usually does. And here's the thing. You can't taste the spinach, you can't taste the squash. What you taste is a rich, slightly sweet, savory sauce that somehow carries way less sugar than the big commercial brands. The vegetables do the job quietly. That matters a lot when you're watching your sugar intake. And the sugar that is in there comes from whole vegetables, not a factory. Your body handles those two things very differently. Flip the bottle over. Tomato paste, apple cider vinegar, butternut squash puree, carrot puree, spinach, spices, no corn syrup, no modified starch, no artificial anything. Someone actually thought about what goes in your body when they made this. Your pantry, your call. Bottom line. 4 of the most famous BBQ sauces in America are built on corn syrup, chemical preservatives, and fake flavoring. They taste fine because they're engineered to taste fine, not because anyone actually cooked anything. Go check your fridge right now. If you've got any of those first 4 in there, you know what to do. The 4 clean ones are sitting right there at most major grocery stores. At least one fits your budget and your taste. Subscribe because we're going through your whole pantry, one shelf at a time. And drop a comment. Which bottle are you tossing today?